So Philippians 4:7, within that it says, the peace of God which transcends all understanding, right? And until you, it's some things that as people, as we hear as people, it's some things that as we hear them, quotes, Bible scriptures, whatever, it's until we actually experience that particular thing, quote, saying, scripture, whatever, until we actually can experience it. And forgive me, I'm just getting over a cold, so I'm congested, so I'll try to enunciate. But until we get to a point where we experience that quote of scripture, saying or whatever for ourselves, we can believe that it's true and know that it's true, but it's not until we actually experience it that we can feel the truth in it. And that Philippians 4:7, I might have said it wrong. I think that's right. I said it right in the beginning because I looked at it just before. And just so you know, as is obvious right now, that I don't know all the scriptures off the top of my head. I know what they say for the most part, and I can Google and find out where it is. Know how to get to the word. Some scriptures I do know were off the top of my head, or that are embedded in me, but this particular one wasn't. But I do know the scripture of having a peace beyond all understanding. But until we get to experience it for ourselves, whatever our saying is, but I'm gonna just speak on this one in particular about the peace that goes beyond all understanding. Until we get to experience it for ourselves, it's just a truth that we know of, because we know God is real. We know that what his word is real. We know what he says is real. But until we're actually able to live out that particular scripture, until that point, we can't feel the truth of it because it isn't tangible to us. And right now, because I was sick and I couldn't work, and what I do right now is I drive Uber now. I left the corporate world. God put in my spirit and pulled me right out of there, out of the corporate world. And that's not for everybody, but that's what I felt called to do, to leave. And I've been at peace ever since I left. Speaking of the peace. But I left in 21, the end of December of 21. So in 2022, I was full blown just Uber. And I do a little bit of Lyft too. And God has blessed us tremendously just in doing Uber and Lyft. Plus my wife works as well. But anyway, I've just recently gotten into renting cars. So we rent cars on the Turo and Hire Car platform. But so I got sick, and being that I work for Uber, anyone knows that you have to buy your own health insurance. So you don't have the job giving you, although I could pay extra to get some sick pay and all that. I didn't at this point, and I don't plan on being with them long enough to even need it, to be for real. But who knows, right? But anyway, getting back to the point, is I have to go to work to make money. Although I have started building other streams of income, which a lot of my peers, in certain circles, a lot of people who I look up to, they talk about multiple streams of income. And although those multiple streams haven't gotten to the point where I could just say I don't work for anyone anymore, I haven't gotten there yet. Just getting started, really. And I have 3 cars on the platform. One is consistently going. One, now I have in a recovery process because the person who's renting it has gone AWOL for 9 days now. It's not communicating, but I have a tracker on it as suggested through the platform. So I'm having to go through the proper procedures of putting in a police report. It's a whole bunch of stuff. In more ways, when I've ventured into the entrepreneurship realm, I recognize that the law is definitely seems like more so on the side of the person who's committing the crime than the people who are trying to uphold the law and do righteous things in righteous ways. But anyway, so I got sick, dealing with that. Had an instance with I won't even speak on it because it's still ongoing with another car that I got. Let me stop that from coming in. But got stopped. Had another car that I in the process of purchasing. Is now dealing with. Make sure I got enough time. Yep, I'm gonna cut this short. Almost done. Got a car that's dealing with title issues. Totally nothing wrong on my part. Again, doing everything as I'm supposed to, right? And things keep happening. But this whole time that going through this, it's just like it just seems like storm after storm after storm after storm, and those just a few things that I mentioned going on. But yet, through this whole thing, my wife can be a witness to this. It's like I haven't been stressed. Like doing Uber, I swear it gives me so much free time. Like in between trips to work on digital art, to work on some of the ideas that God has given me. It's like when I'm out here, I'm not doing it right now. I'm actually going to the car wash. But when I'm out here on the road, I'm just so at peace because I love to just be out on the go. So it's great that I can make money while I'm just moving and just exploring the beautiful day that God has always provided. It's so many different things that has grown from me being able to do what I do just with Uber or with Lyft. But it just brings me this peace. Everything that I'm doing that brings me peace, I remove myself from situations and from people that bring me stress or that bring me discomfort. And I talk to God about it. Like, show me where I'm wrong and wherever. If there's something wrong there, if it's not me, let me back away and I'll say my piece or do whatever I do and just let you do what you do, God. That's where that peace comes in. When you really just let go and let God, no matter what is going on, right? No matter what is going on, you just have this peace. And people think you're putting on the front like you're just trying to keep face with. Maybe that was me back in the day, probably so, right? Because I hadn't reached this peace yet. I'm just built like that, as most go-getters are. They're built to just go. And I have 30 seconds left. A minute, 30 seconds. And I close it with this. But now, even though I'm a go-getter, now when I say it, I'm for real, at peace. Because I let go and I let God. And I know that no matter how anything turns out, His grace is sufficient. Which I can't remember what scripture that is, but I know it, and it's real. And I know that I'm in a good place because I'm covered by God. And if you believe what the scripture says, hold on to it. It's real.